Good morning, everyone. My name is Cynthia Blondeel-Timmerman from UBIN School. Today, I'm here with Herb Dew, former USC track and field athlete. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
So anyway, we were talking a little bit off camera about this controversial article that came out in the Daily Trojan last week describing USC's poor student-athlete graduation rate. The article was actually titled, "A Closer Look at USC's Student-Athlete Graduation Rates." It came out April 19th, 2016. And it showed that only 73% of track and field athletes graduate. And I was just wondering, what do you think about that?
The proof is in the pudding there. Again, that's something that, especially the track and field industry or our program can definitely work on. That's something that we need to get that up. What do you feel about it yourself?
Well, I feel for a university that puts so much emphasis on their athletes getting an education that it's kind of really bad. I know athletes that have to be in tutoring at a certain time, they have to be in class, and they have these check-ins, and it's a constant oversight of their educational program. So I'm wondering, did track fall through the cracks?
No, again, that's something that's very hard to argue. It must be some sort of dislink there. All the athletes, they work extremely hard, so that's no excuse there. We all have the same resources. That's no excuse there as well. It must be some sort of dislink that we have to figure out.
Well, what's this dislink? What do you mean by that?
I'm not sure. Again, it is like I said before, like an individual type of sport where maybe some accountability is not being there. But again, we have things like golf, like you mentioned before, is 100%. So again, I'm not really sure what that dislink is, but it is something that's there at the moment.
Right. Well, you also mentioned earlier about track being a business. What did you mean by that?
Again, I feel like at the end of the day, the total mindset, not only as far as athletics in general, is we want to make it into the pros and everything like that, but something we really want to focus on is making it to the Olympics and getting signed and everything like that. So definitely in my time, I know someone who left early for the Olympics, so didn't quite get their education yet or get their degree yet, but maybe that's playing into the statistics as well. But again, it's more business as far as making it to Olympics rather than them having a major that they really want to do. I think it's all about making it to the Olympics win.
Well, at the end of the day, not every student athlete that comes to USC is going to the pros. So what happens to those students that didn't do as well during their time here and they don't go pro? What happens to them?
Again, that's a question for those who didn't take care of business when they were here. I was fortunate enough to get my degree, and I was also unfortunate as far as making it to the pros. So, I worked. I have my degree, and pretty happy right now for myself at least. But that's something that people need to think about as far as if they don't make it to the pro, have a kind of backup plan, or strive towards something that they can see themselves doing.
Right. Well, the last point I wanted to bring up that the article kind of touched on said, track and field is one of the few non-revenue sports that attracts a disproportionate number of African American and minority athletes. African American and minority athletes are coming from schools that are not as strong, and it looks like a revenue sport having underprepared students coming into the system can skew the percentage. What do you think about that point?
That's something that I could agree with too. As far as my colleagues when I were in college, including myself, came from low-end schools. I came from Detroit, Michigan, where there was really no education foundation at all. So, and I was there when I had to actually get my associate's degree before I transferred myself. So, I could definitely see that playing a huge role in being necessarily not ready for a university, because it is definitely it's a step up as far as especially university. It's such a prestigious school, from I guess you could say a non-foundation education or no foundation of education at all. So yeah, that definitely played a huge mark in that. And when the whole aspect of you being in college is for track and field or that aspect instead of education. You didn't come here for education. You came here for a sport.
Wow.
So I think that can play a huge deal.
Right. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming out today. Thank you for your insights. We really appreciate it. But yeah, that's all the time we have for today. My name is Cynthia Blondeel-Timmerman with You've Been Schooled, signing off, and we'll see you next time.